We're talking about Thursday the 19th for our warm-up. We're going to start with a doorway pec stretch, 1 minute per side, and then into 2 to 3 times through here, 10 jump squats, 5 side pillar hip drop and reach, 10 per side of a heel touch, 10 per side of a single leg pike lift. At least twice through, ideally 3 times. Let's take a look at that. First part of this warm-up is a doorway pec stretch. I'm assuming you have access to a doorway. If not, there are a couple other ways to do this. Standing in a doorway, you're going to take one hand, place it on the doorway. I'm lined up sort of exactly in the middle. So the middle of my foot is lined up with this doorway. It's cutting my body in half. Staying square, I'm going to lean forward, and we're looking for a big stretch all along this pec. Make sure you don't just slump, rotate forward. You also don't need to arch into it, win the doorway pec stretch. Just lean, heels stay on the ground, feel a big stretch. We're going for 1 minute per side. So if it's easy for the first 15 seconds, hang on tight. This is gonna get tough. Next part of the warm-up after that pec stretch is a jump squat. We're gonna come all the way down to the bottom of your squat. Take a moment here, make sure you're in a good position. Heels on the ground, knees tracking over your toes, chest nice and tall. Will only come as low as you can maintain this position. So if you come to the bottom and you end up here, only squat as low as we can make it look really good. Accelerate on the way up and leave the ground. So all the way down to the bottom. If you did our at-home workout yesterday, or were in the gym, I guess, yesterday, and your abs and hips are a little tight, take a minute down here. Hang out, stretch those knees out, warm those hips up, leave the ground. We're gonna get 10. Hip drop and reach, or a side pillar hip drop and reach, is the next part of our warm-up. You're going to set up in a side pillar, also known as a plank, on your forearms. Feet stacked, nice and tall. The hip drop, hip kisses the ground, and then reach away from the ground. So tap and reach. If that extended arm helps you keep balance, totally cool. 5 on each side here. Moving on, the next part of our warm-up, heel touches. We're gonna get 10 per side. Set up for the heel touch, flat on your back, knees about 90 degrees. We don't want them touching your butt. They also shouldn't be way out here. About 90 degrees. Shoulders slightly off the ground. Reach, and we're going to touch your heels. Lots of rotation here. If this doesn't feel like anything, put those heels a little further away. Reach. We're gonna get 10 on each side. Moving on for our warm-up, single leg pike lifts. Set up nice and tall, sitting on the ground, feet together. The further forward your hands reach, the more challenging this will be. We're looking for a locked out knee. Lift that leg as high as you can. Heels almost, but not quite touch the ground. If this is super hard, lean back. Give yourself some room. You could totally do this here. If you're pretty good at this, you may find it a little more challenging to capture one leg with those arms. Reach here, onto the other side. 10 on each leg. All right, let's talk about Thursday's Metcon. We have 4 rounds. So 4 rounds of a 3-minute AMRAP. So brief moment, I've written this like 5 different ways. I think this makes sense and we're gonna talk about it. If there's a clearer way for me to talk to you about it, let me know and I'll talk to you that way. So 4 rounds of a 3-minute AMRAP. That 3-minute AMRAP is 12 burpees and then as many reps as you can in the remaining time of bag squat cleans. After those 3 minutes, you get a 2-minute rest. So 3 minutes of work, 2 minutes of rest, 4 rounds. Let's see what that looks like. All right, Thursday's Metcon. Each one of these 3-minute AMRAPs starts with basically a 12 burpee buy-in. So nice and tall, just like every burpee. I want your chest to the ground, sprawl to the ground, jump to the bottom of that squat position. You gotta leave the ground. Beat gravity however you get there. If sprawling to the ground isn't great for you, you can slow it down. Hands on the ground, leg, down, kind of inchworm your way out of it. Step, get tall, still leave the ground. If you're having any elbow issues, shoulder issues, you don't want to get all the way down to the deck, we're going to do squat thrusts. So another modification, down to the top of that push-up, bottom of your squat, leave the ground. 12. Second part of this couplet AMRAP bag squat cleans. What does that look like? Your bag can be any bag. We are again using the trusty orange backpack that serves me well, but this could be a duffel bag, a tote bag. This could be a couple of plastic bags from the grocery store tied together. Anything that will hold some stuff. If you're someone who has sandbags or weight vests or other objects like that, you could totally use those. Today, I have my backpack. We're loading up some Witch's Way, again, 2 pounds worth. Yep, 2 pounds of Witch's Way. We have some Lysol disinfectant. If you happen to have some disinfectant products around or hand sanitizer, it weighs something, throw it in. We have your Boss's water bottle. If you can steal your Boss's water bottle, that's very useful. And Becoming a Supple Leopard, a few years old but still useful. If you have time on your hands, this is not a bad time to work on your mobility. It's a thing you can do. It's also kind of a heavy book. So we'll throw all that stuff in, secure it somehow. You don't want things falling out. If you're lucky enough to have a bag that has clips on it, super great, but you can also just tie the top of a bag. However, you can keep things together. If it's an open top bag, we'll just keep it facing up. So from here, I've got the keys hanging on. We're gonna leave them there for an extra challenge. The bag squat clean. The bag will touch the ground, explode up down to the bottom of that squat, stand up again. However you're holding this bag, you're gonna do that. So from the top, it would be touch, squat, stand up. From the side, touch, squat, stand up. Try not to get hit in the face with some keys. As many as you can do. Truthfully, this doesn't have to be heavy because you're likely working for at least 2 minutes. It's a 3-minute AMRAP, 12 burpees, depending on how fast your burpees are. That's probably less than 30 seconds of work, maybe up to 45 seconds or a minute. So 2.5 minutes of a light squat clean is gonna be plenty. You're gonna get sweaty. After the 3 minutes, you rest 2 minutes and do it 3 more times, 4 rounds altogether. Have fun.